From the plain of Shinar. They didn't build it in a land of mountains. That's the first thing people get wrong. Babel wasn't raised on cliffs or carved out of stone like some heroic monument. It rose on a flat plain Shinar, where the horizon is a straight line and the sky feels too big. There was no stone to quarry, no forest to fell, so they took what the rivers gave them: mud, clay, silt. They pressed it into molds, dried it under the sun, fired it in kilns until it hardened, and between every brick they laid, bitumen tar pulled from the earth, black, sticky, sharp in the throat when it heated. This is what Babel really was. Not a needle-piercing clouds, but a stepped mountain made by human hands. A ziggurat, wide at the base, tier after tier, rising upward, stairways cut into its face. A summit platform prepared for a small shrine, not a palace, a sacred room meant for a god, because the aim was never just height. The aim was connection. In that world, a ziggurat wasn't a watchtower, it was a claim that heaven and earth could be bridged by design, that if you built high enough, ordered enough, organized enough, the divine could be brought down, controlled, centered. That's the kind of power people underestimate. Not magic, administration, unity, one project, one language, one set of commands rolling across scaffolding and dust like a single breath. Bricks moved in rhythm. Water hauled from canals. Rations counted. Work crews rotated. Names pressed into wet clay on tablets, so no one disappeared without record. Civilization at full voice. And on a flat plain where nothing else rose, it would have been visible for miles, a geometry against the sky, a declaration that the center of the world was here. This is what the story is really pressing on. Not the tower, the idea beneath it. Because Babel isn't just architecture, it's the moment humanity tries to become a single machine. One people, one speech, one purpose. Because if the only danger was a tall building, nobody would still be talking about it. The danger was the dream of perfect unity. Unity without humility. So in the story, the collapse isn't an explosion. It's something worse. A fracture you can't patch with mortar. Words stop landing. A foreman points, and the laborer blinks, not understanding. A command is shouted, and it returns as confusion. A simple instruction becomes a wall, not because the bricks fail, but because the people can no longer move as one. And slowly, the most realistic thing in the world happens. Groups drift, families gather their tools, work crews detach, markets thin out. The center cannot hold, the tower remains unfinished. Weathering tar, hardening in the sun, dust settling into cracks. A monument not to destruction, but to interruption. And the world fills with distance. Different tongues, different tribes, different borders. It's easy to hear that as punishment, but there's another way to hear it, one that hits harder. Babel is the story of a limit placed on total control, a reminder that human power, when it tries to become absolute, is broken apart, not always by catastrophe, but by the simplest thing. We cannot hold the world in one hand. And maybe that's mercy, because the same unity that can build a tower can also build a cage. So the plain of Shinar teaches this. You can stack bricks until the sun goes down. You can make a mountain out of mud. You can convince yourself you're touching heaven. But if your unity is only ambition, then one day you'll stand beneath your own creation, speaking, and find that nobody truly hears you. And that's Babel. Not a tower that fell, a world that scattered.